Oh no! Right, welcome back to the big barn build. It is week 2 of framing up our walls, and we've made a good start already. We've cleared up our bottom foundation wall, so it's got a cavity wall, insulated, DPC, and we've got our LVL down as our sole plate. We've got that second one which will be built flat on the floor with the stud wall to stand them up. This end should be a little bit easier. We're just framing up to the front door, and we're going to stop at that steel simply because between those two seals is all glass, which will be a lot further down the line. So basically 2 walls either side, finished nice and straight, no doors to worry about, just 2 windows this side. Well, that's some more OSB down to protect this. We have to get the tower over here, cut off more of these brackets. The old gate brackets, everything's going to get in the way of studs or insulation, so it's better to get them off now. Everything's marked up, window openings marked up. Now we're going to get another glue lamp down. In order to get our measurements, I'll show you what we're doing. We've got a couple of offcuts. Last time we just measured from the sole plate glue lamp to the steel and then took off the thickness, but it's even easier if we just double up down here and then hit the steel. So we're using 2 bits on the either side of the line, laser on there, and the plumb line of the laser will drop down onto our line somewhere up there. That's now showing on the steel. Now we can use a laser measure to measure from the blocks to that dot. I'll take 3 measurements just because it's wobbling around a little bit as you hold it steady. 2540, 2539, 2539. So I just take the average. Normally they're only a millimetre or 2 off. And then once they get circled, Tom knows they're ready to go and cut. Right, that's enough. And then I'll lift mine, you just watch for tipping. Yeah. Okay. You ready for me to get it off? Yeah. Right, everything's plumbed. We're on to our opening. So what we've done is we've made sure everything's good, the studs either side, and then I've just put a packer in. So that's that 18mm OSB that's sitting inside the web of the I-joist. So it's now a solid on this side. And then that's going to sit against it, giving us our opening and somewhere to fix all of our glazing to. Right, we just framed up the opening for the study, and it's basically full width between the 2 steels. There's really nothing much. It was pretty precarious getting it up there. It's just a goalpost. But it shows how good our steel is and how not so good the old steel is. We left ourselves a nice 25mm slot just so we can slide in a 25mm piece of PIR. Now of course these steels are going to be completely insulated all the way around, lots on the outside, but I just didn't like the idea of having this tight against the steel. Even if there is a fixing point at some point, we wanted to get insulation there. So that's quite an even gap. See over here, not so much. This goes right off on an angle. So we kind of just need to ignore these steels. So we've luckily got time now to tweak our window schedule. There is no way we could have got in the 2.6 meter window here without getting everything really tight against the steels. So by shrinking it down a little bit means we've got better insulation and more ability to get some more of these structural timbers in where we want them and not mess around with the sensors too much.
What if it doesn't fit now?
Well, we all cry, don't we? Okay, so we are on to part 2 of the south end now. We did all of the kitchen part, pretty faultless actually. It went all up in about half a day and then a bit of extra time getting that opening sorted. And then we just spent the best part of half a day just doing this slimmer bit, but that's because 1, it's full height, 2, we can't put it all up as one, we kind of have to do it as a goalpost and then infill. But also we had those issues with how much space we had to deal with between the two steels. Luckily, we've got time to change the glazing sizes, but we now need to make sure that whatever we do the same glass size here as we do in the in the boot room area, because they should be symmetrical either side. So what we're doing now is starting on the Annex. In some respects it should be a mirror image, but there's a few differences. The main one being that this has got a door. So over here we've had a tidy up. We've now got the DPC ready. So that DPC is bonded to our DPM, which came up underneath our slab. It's a bit of insulation in the cavity, just some EPS. This is where the slab stops along the run there. That's where we picked out, tied it up down to the myothene foam expansion bit. But what we've done in the doorways is we've actually carried it through over the thermoblocks into the level of the cavity. So we've not filled the whole cavity, we've still got the insulation there, but it means that our threshold can sit spanning this, and we've got polished concrete all the way up to our door. Rather than having any trim, we can have that nice finished flooring all the way up. And that's, we don't want to uncover too much of it, but it's looking really nice. See, it's nice and damp under there still, curing slowly. We obviously had to peel this flat, but the colour, it looks really nice. It's got that marbly look already, so it'll be great when we can get that polished up. So same again, not sure how much you can pick up from the footage as we're going, but we're going to go with LVL at the bottom, and once that's down we'll fix it in to the wall at the bottom, just concrete screws for now, big bolts in the future, and then we'll frame up on the floor a glue lam sole plate and stand the whole thing up. We're just debating whether we stand up 2 halves, so the side here, to the right hand side of the door and the left hand side, then bridge it with the lintel, or see if we can lift it all up as one. But that's all of our components cut for this stud wall. All that's got to happen now is to cut 2 LVLs. They'll be our jack studs either side to go into the lintel. We can do those after. Hopefully the laser won't lie, they're all correct. And we're basically trying to keep on top of offcuts because there's a good chance we won't end up with too much wastage. Remember, we're using exactly the same material for our floor and all the walls, so any offcuts we can stack into different size piles. We are going to need short little ones like this because they'll either be noggins or they'll be above window lintels, kind of short studs, so it shouldn't be too much. I mean, so far the waste bag is pretty minimal. You know, it's either just end cuts where we've had to scribe around bits, or that. I mean, that might even be used somewhere. So it's all good so far. Oh no! Oh, just do it. Can't go down now. Hello? What's the door line like? Fire beyond yours. Lucky, wasn't it? Well, after that somewhat close shave, the last step was to test fit our lintels. These box lintels, we're going to be doing a whole separate video on them. They are made of various components and it's an interesting way to go, and I'm going to share why and how we did that in about a week or so. But for now, that was one of the last bits to check on our gable end. We've got some blocking to do before we can sheet it up, but for now we're going to be moving on to the side walls. They're the exciting ones where we get the nice views over the fields. And if you want to have a sneaky preview, head over to Instagram and you can follow us there, where we put out posts every day or so on progress on the build. And if you want to be extra special keen, you can head over to Patreon, join us on there, and by becoming a member you get to have a behind the scenes video. Every week or so Joe comes out, films a bit about what's going on, the highs, the lows, the ins and the outs, completely uncut. And here's a little clip of what they got to see this week, so I'll leave a link to that down in the description too. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. A huge thank you to James Jones and Sons for sponsoring our timber framing videos. More info down in the description. But for now, remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.